Welcome to Shorty SuperCoach. Today we're going to have a look at the first Shorty Superstars press conference. Hopefully the light isn't too bad. As you can see, it's 11:15. Gotten home late, cricket struggling. Aussie's not doing so well. Normally I'll look to have these out probably Sunday night, maybe Monday, but obviously this one you'll probably watch it around Tuesday by the time we get to it. Obviously the Cats had a late game, didn't get me to doing it till now and work today, so sometimes it'll be a little bit later, but more often than not I'll try and have them out Sunday night. If I do a other video, it can sometimes take a little bit longer as well. But before we get stuck into it, we'll look at the overall point of view before we go straight on my side. It wasn't a great week, let's be honest. Not a fantastic week there. Scored a touch under 1950, which puts me well out, but it's 1 week. A few comments in the team reveal. That's fair enough. Everyone has their opinion, but it's 1 week. I mean, as with players, you always give them at least a couple, and Shorty Superstars will bounce back. And look, it wasn't an awful week. Like, I'm miles down the rankings, but I reckon I made 2 mistakes for the whole week. Those mistakes were obviously Hanbury, captain, massive blunder, but that just comes down to a bit of luck, really, in the end. I mean, I was weighing up, had Trelaw for the VC, excuse me, and then I was thinking after he failed, I was thinking Ruck, Hanbury. If you get that right, it's a 50-50 call. Honestly, I went Hanbury because I thought the Swans would have an easier match, and they didn't. So, there's 160 points you could bank. And Brett Eddy fielding him, again, that comes down to a bit of luck. 2 blokes scoring 96 on the pine. You win some, you lose some. But look, also off the top, before people start getting outraged about no Dangerfield, no O'Meara and commenting away, go to my video that I talk about those exact things. I've got a video on Danger, O'Meara, Swallow, Taranto. They're in the SuperCoach traps. Before you comment to your heart's content, go to the video. That's what they're there for. I mean, that's why I make them, to have a gallery and an archive that people can go to. And if they have a question, I feel like I've got it covered. Same goes for the selections for my team. So I stand by it. This is one of the team that was made within 5 seconds. So you got to give it more than 1 week. I'm pretty comfortable. Also off the top, if you trade this week a bloke who isn't injured, you're bloody nuts. Don't hit the trade button at all unless you've got Rewalt or Swallow or something like that. I'm not even sure on the extent of Swallow's injury. Anyway, go through my side. Laird, Adams, Tui, all very impressive. Particularly Laird, played a fantastic game and just does what he does, racks up the ball. 147, unbelievable. So 3 ticks for the defender premiums there. Tom Stewart played a reasonable game, but it didn't quite reflect in the scores. Hampton, ball reports, I didn't see all that game. Didn't quite get into it like he did in some of the JLT, but 50, well, we'll build from that. And of course Otten as well. He's probably not going to be a high scorer, but should appreciate a bit over time. Joel Smith, very unlucky. I think he's out for an extended period of time, which is disappointing because I watched the first quarter of that game and he looked very good before Rewalt just fell down on him, and that's just unlucky for him. So disappointing. I'll probably hold on to him because he's pointless to trade unless, say, an Ed Vickers-Willis comes along and plays 2 games and he's on the bubble or something like that. Hibberd just at 23 points. That hurts a bit, but he'll build. Midfield, ironically, the only really poor midfielder I had, aside from Parfitt obviously, was Hanbury, who my skipper was on, which, that sucks, but that's just how it goes sometimes. Rockcliffe, Tom Mitchell, both had 37 apiece, scored very well. Fife, worked his way into the game. It wasn't one of his best games of all time, but wins so much inside ball that it's so hard for him to not nudge 100 most weeks. Trelaw played a very good game, just turned it over a bit. I thought the 96 was maybe a little harsh. I thought he played a 110 sort of game, but probably did turn it over, particularly early, a little bit too much. Beams got the medal. I was surprised to see he only scored 91 points. Sam Palpepper has been the talk of the town. He was very impressive. Long bombing goals, has worked into AFL level brilliantly well. And look, Hanbury, he let me down, but that's 1 week. That'll happen. I'll stand by him. I I still feel like very confident he'll be a top 10 mid come season's end. I can't stress enough that people lose their shit over round 1. They just go nuts. I mean, it's 1 week of footy. Just calm down, ease back, guys. Give him at least 2 weeks. And for a bloke like Hanbury, I'll give him 5 weeks. I'll be doubtful to trade him, to be brutally honest. Because you don't do all your research and delve into stats through pre-season to lose faith in a bloke you paid 600k for in 1 week. So let's not be silly. Parfitt, didn't get much quantity, but what he did I thought was quality. He'll stay in the team. Barrett, hard for me to comment, didn't see the game. Mountford, also only listened to most of it on the radio. Got involved a little bit, and Pickett, I thought he was lively, but the way with Pickett is he's probably not going to get involved too much, and Carlton had a pretty tough night, particularly early. So just the 28 points there. So pretty slim on the rookies, which is a little bit disappointing because we want them to make cash. But one saving grace with round 1 is the round 1 scores, while it's great for them to score well, round 2 is really, if you're picking, if you want 100 in round 1 or round 2, you want it in round 2 because you get 2 price rises from there on out. I mean, this round 1 score will be wiped after round 3. That'll only count for 1 price rise, their first initial price rise, and then it'll be gone. Where, for example, if Mountford scores 100 in round 2, he'll receive a price rise inclusive of that 100 for 2 weeks, which does help. It's minor, but if you want to get exact and picky, well, that might be the lighter side of things to look at. Sandilands dominated in the ruck, very impressive. Wasn't as great round the ground, looked a little slow, but he'll work into that. His hit-outs were unbelievable. Grundy, not his best game by any stretch, and just the 82 points. As far as the forward line, I'm very surprised at Dalhouse there. I thought he played a bit better than that, but he probably did drift out of the game. McRae does what he does, sort of uncontested ball, but plenty of it. Had the 25 touches. Nankervis was a standout. People would be very keen if you went the Sandilands and Nankervis combination in any respect, because they both scored quite well. Roughhead, 73 points, but I think the best part was he looked good. The Hawks had a tough day against the Inspired Bombers, but 12 touches for 73 points is reasonable. And I liked he was working up the ground. His JLT style of play was reflected in round 1, which was good to see. So he'll be better for the run. And Josh Caddy wasn't overly impressive. Just didn't quite look what I would have wanted. Wasn't really in the thick of it as much. As you would have seen in my team reveal, I Denard even in the video. And look, Caddy's probably the one man who's under the pump in my team. It would have to be, you got Sean Higgins scoring 111 or whatever it was. And certainly if Caddy were to not fire, he certainly comes to that category where, if Higgins gets another 100, not only do you save 60 odd K, but you get in a guy who's looking far better options. So one thing with Caddy, I thought he would probably play more minutes in the genuine midfield. He was often around the packs, but not always in and under. I thought he may have attended a few more centre bounces and things like that and played a little bit more forward, which was the risk, but, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what happens, because I felt he did work into the game a little bit. I don't think he was disgraceful. Certainly we expect better, but as I say with all guys, give them at least 2 weeks. Then you had Hannon and Butler, 96. That's great. Let's hope they can replicate it. Gives them a good start. Would have been great to have one of them on the ground, obviously. Eddie let me down. There's 60-odd points you won't get back. But, look, the team as a whole, of course I was disappointed. I mean, you always want to crack 2,000. But at the end of the day, it just came down to a bad captain. That was as simple as that. You choose any of those other premium mids, you get a pretty good captaincy score, get you an extra 100 points. If I pick a good captain, I score pretty close to 2,100. You get lucky, you pick Butler or Hannon. I went with Eddie because he's the most experienced and had the best form through the JLT. You win some, you lose some. You try and stick to your theories that you work with. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. It didn't. So, 2 mistakes. If I get them right, I scored 2,100. I got them wrong, so I'm scoring at 1,950. Now, I can't get those points back, but I'm still feeling pretty good about my side. The only real disappointment was perhaps some underperforming rookie price players, which is nothing to get alarmed about at the moment. Hopefully they all can hold their spot. That's the main thing above all. Hanbury will surely get back to some better scoring. Ironically, I don't think he really scored anywhere near that last year. It was unbelievably consistent. But other than that, Caddy is the other man that you probably put a bit of a watch on. I was a bit disappointed with him and a bit concerned with where he was running and where he was lining up consistently. So, look, they're just a few things to take away, but we'll be better for the run. We'll be back, that's for sure. Don't get carried away with trades. Outrageous to be thinking about trades at this stage. You see people trading out Hanbury, trading out O'Meara, getting Dustin Martin in. Sometimes you just got to bite the bullet. If you missed Dustin Martin, you missed him. You got it wrong. All right, just face it. If you're really keen, then wait 2 rounds at least. Unbelievable that people trade this early. Unnecessary trades is what burn people in the end. People see, where are we? The figure of 30 trades, and they get excited how much better they can make their team. And we live in a world of people who do knee-jerk at anything. So I think you'll save yourself a lot of pain and stress by just holding off the trade button for now and just relaxing, admitting if you got a couple of things wrong, bite the bullet, give it 2 weeks. And look, let's be honest, if you got more than 2 or 3 things wrong and you need to trade on both opening rounds before the price change, well, then you got some real problems. But you should only really want to make 1 or 2 correctional trades. And at the moment, I'd probably be looking at maybe a caddy, and perhaps a rookie that caught me off guard that I wasn't on board. So look, pleased in a way. I feel like most of my side did what I would have liked, except for slightly unders, and there are a couple of real blunders. You get your captain wrong. It's massive pain, and I copped that. So there'll be a lot of naysayers out. Well, why didn't you just get Dangerfield? Well, in the end, it didn't matter if I had Dangerfield or not. I was tossing up between Rockcliffe and Hanbury. Rockcliffe and Danger basically the same sort of score. So, look, we'll see how we go. Got that 300k waiting in the bank for me to pounce early. Hopefully those 150 odd points that I missed out on this week, I can make back to an extent with getting in some quick fallen premiums. Keep your eye on Robbie Gray as well. 38 points. I know he's looking like he's going to play forward. I was reading on the AFL website, but surely that couldn't last any longer than a few weeks. Unbelievable that he scored just 38. So hopefully he wasn't one of your point of difference. So, and also Nick Rewalt, very disappointing to see him go down, but he'll affect a few people. So yeah, a few things. I mean, it could be worse. It could certainly be worse for some. But I think we just sit on our hands, don't touch the trade button for now, see how we go. So we'll have a good week on the track. Shorty Superstars, no doubt. We'll be back bigger and better for round 2. And I look forward to your comments. No doubt there'll be some critical ones. No doubt about that. So I'll look forward to your feedback. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Of course, I'll look to do some form of preview to the week. It probably might not be the exact same weekend preview as such, but for example, this week I'll probably talk about what do we do with Nick Rewalt and then discuss from there. So probably have a main burning question, topic, and then go from there, reel off a few more minor things throughout. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your comments and subscriptions through the pre-season as well. Of course, things get a little bit more mundane from here on in. Hopefully you have an interest in my side. As we scroll through, hopefully you got a little bit of interest, because otherwise it's hard for me to do too much more stuff, I suppose, because there are limited things when you talk about at this stage of the year. There's a few trade questions that come up, but we'll have to wait and see how many topics do arise. It will change from week to week. So that's my team. That's how it scored. I'll be back next week, hopefully bigger and better. Hopefully cracking the 2,100, which should be very doable. We'll see how we go. But thanks for tuning in, guys. Comment as always. If you enjoy the video, give it a like. And of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, by all means do so. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll catch you soon.